Lindsay Arp knows a lot about beating the odds. After getting pregnant at 15, the single mom worked hard to finish high school, get a college degree, and land a solid job. When she met Ryan Haas at work, she thought she'd finally found the partner she'd been hoping for.
He seemed very pleasant, he seemed very nice, he seemed like a good father. He had a son that was the same age as my son. We dated, and then like 4 or 5 months later we moved in together. And then within a year I got pregnant with my oldest daughter.
That's when the couple's relationship started to unravel.
When he found out I was pregnant, that's when it became abusive.
Ryan became more controlling. He took away her cell phone and kept her from seeing her friends. Lindsay thought about leaving him, but now she had 2 children to take care of. A year later, she became pregnant with a 3rd. Meanwhile, the arguments and abuse got worse.
He blindsided me with like the biggest slap, and like I had like his hand mark on my face for like 2 weeks.
Finally, Lindsay got up the courage to tell Ryan he had to move out. On the night of April 11th, 2011, she came home from work, confident that her life was about to turn around. She had no idea that Ryan had one final act of revenge.
At first, everything seemed normal. Lindsay talked to Ryan for a while, then went up to bed. Around 2, she heard her bedroom door open.
I was sleeping on his side of the bed, and next thing I know, like I'm just doused with this hot, I thought it was water. I thought he boiled water, but turned out to be grease.
Ryan had boiled a large pot of grease on the stove, walked up the stairs, and poured it on the mother of his children. Lindsay managed to get to a neighbor for help. She was taken to the hospital, where she had 4th-degree burns on her face, neck, and chest. She spent months in the hospital recovering. Today, Lindsay has undergone 15 surgeries and procedures, the latest a skin graft doctors placed under her chin. Physically and emotionally, her recovery has been excruciating. She'll be reminded of Ryan's abuse every time she looks in the mirror for the rest of her life.
I had a lot of anger. I used to wake up just screaming that I hated Ryan. Like, why did he do this? Why would someone be so evil?
Ryan was found guilty of attempted 1st-degree murder and given the maximum sentence of 40 years in jail. Kathy Walsh is executive director of the Tennessee Coalition to End Domestic Violence, and she says Lindsay's story, while extreme, follows a common pattern.
The more dependent you are on the perpetrator, the less likely you are to leave them. And so when victims do start making plans to leave, then that perpetrator feels very threatened. And that's where we see sometimes that violence escalates to homicide.
Leaving can be especially difficult for moms who worry about custody and about how they'll support their kids. Kathy says the first step is to tell someone you trust what's going on.
Reaching out for help, talking with someone about your situation, I think is the most important thing that a mom can do.
If you feel trapped in a domestic violence situation, you can call the national hotline at 1-800-787-3224 and find out exactly what your options are. It's a call Lindsay now says she wishes she'd made a long time ago. She was scared back then of losing everything she'd worked so hard to have. Now she says she knows better.
That can all be replaced. Your life cannot.
For CafeMom, I'm Lindsay Farrier.